Hey there, and welcome back to our channel. Have you ever heard two words that sound exactly the same but have completely different meanings? It can be confusing, right? But don't worry. Today, we're going to explore these tricky words. So let's get started. Let's start with a classic one. Bear and bear. These words are pronounced the same but have totally different meanings. Bare means something that is exposed or without covering. For example, he walked around with his bare feet in the grass. Or, she wore a bare dress to the party. Bear, on the other hand, is a large, furry animal. You might have heard of a bear in the woods or even at the zoo. For example, I saw a bear while hiking in the mountains. Let's imagine you're hiking in the forest and you take off your shoes to walk barefoot. You look down and suddenly you spot a bear. Now, would you rather have bare feet or a bear chasing you? That's a tricky situation. Next up, we have flower and flower. These two words sound exactly the same but belong in very different places. Flour is the powder used in baking. It's the key ingredient for making cakes, bread, and even pancakes. Imagine, I need to buy some flour for my pancakes. Flour, on the other hand, is a beautiful plant that grows in gardens and is often used as a gift. For example, my mom loves getting flowers for her birthday. Let's make a funny story. Imagine a baker named Tim who was baking a cake for his mom's birthday. But when he went to the store, he accidentally bought flowers instead of flour. When he tried to bake, well, you can guess how that turned out. Let's see right and right next. They sound the same, but one is about correctness and direction, and the other is all about writing. Right can mean correct, like you got the answer right on your test. Or it can be a direction, like turn right at the traffic light. Write is the action of using a pen or pencil to create words. For example, I love to write in my journal every morning. Here's a fun scenario. Imagine you're taking a test, and you know the right answer. But when you go to write it down, you accidentally start doodling instead of writing the answer. Oops, that's why context is so important. Now let's look at see and see. These are two words that sound identical, but they're used in completely different ways. See is when you use your eyes to look at something. For example, I see the birds flying in the sky. It's all about vision. See, however, refers to the big blue water that covers most of the earth. For example, we spent the afternoon swimming in the sea. Imagine you're on a boat in the middle of the sea. You look around and all you can see is endless water. Which one is more important, seeing or being in the sea? Next, let's tackle here and here. They're another set of words that sound the same, but they mean different things. Here is all about listening to sounds. For example, can you hear that music playing in the distance? Here is a location or place. For example, I'm right here in the classroom. Here's a fun thought. Imagine you're sitting in class and you hear someone talking, but you're not paying attention because you're focused on your phone. Suddenly your teacher asks, "What do you think? Are you here with us today?" Oops, looks like you're caught. Now let's explore sell and sell. These two words sound the same, but they mean very different things. Cell can refer to a small room, like a prison cell. It can also mean a tiny part of your body. For example, the scientists studied the cells under a microscope. Sell is when you exchange something for money. For example, I plan to sell my old phone on the internet. Picture this. Imagine you're in a prison cell and someone walks by trying to sell you a phone. That could lead to some interesting conversations, don't you think? How about compliment and compliment? They're often mixed up, but they have very different meanings. Compliment is when you say something nice to someone like, "You look amazing today." That's a great compliment. Compliment is something that completes or goes well with something else. For example, this wine is the perfect complement to the cheese. Imagine you're at a dinner party. Someone gives you a compliment on your outfit, and then you tell them the red wine complements the cheese perfectly. See the difference? Now, let's talk about capital and capital. These two words sound the same but refer to different things. Capital is a city that is the center of government. For example, Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. Capitol refers to the building where the government meets. For example, the president gave a speech at the Capitol building. Imagine this. You're visiting Washington, D.C., and you're confused because you hear both words. But don't worry, the Capitol is the building, and the capital is the city. Next, let's look at stationary and stationary. Stationary means not moving or staying in one place. For example, the car was stationary at the red light. Stationary is paper, pens, and other writing materials. For example, I need to buy some new stationery for school. Imagine you're sitting at your desk using your stationery to write a letter while your car is parked stationary outside. Confused? Context is everything. Let's take a look at peace and peace. Two words that sound the same but have very different meanings. Peace refers to calm, quiet, and harmony. For example, after the storm, there was finally peace in the town. Peace means a part of something. For example, I would like a piece of cake, please. Now imagine you're sitting in a peaceful garden, enjoying a piece of chocolate cake. You're surrounded by calmness, and your cake is the perfect piece of the puzzle to make the moment even better. Up next, we have cereal and cereal. These two words might sound almost identical, but they have totally different meanings. Cereal is the food you eat for breakfast, like I eat cereal with milk every morning. Serial refers to something happening in a series, like I'm watching a serial TV show that releases new episodes every week. Here's a funny thought. Imagine you're at a breakfast table eating cereal, and your friend is talking about a serial killer on a popular show. That's a strange conversation to have over breakfast, isn't it? Now let's look at allowed and allowed. They sound the same but are used in very different ways. Allowed means something is permitted or okay. For example, you're allowed to bring a friend to the party. Allowed means to speak something out loud. For example, please read the poem aloud to the class. Imagine this. You're in a classroom where you're allowed to speak, but the teacher asks you to read the passage aloud so everyone can hear. Both aloud and aloud are useful in their own ways, but they sound so similar. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more English tips and lessons. We'll be back with more fun content soon. Until then, take care and see you in the next video.